Welcome to Cracks and Nog. This is your host, David. I'm joined by Mike and Jake.
You forget my name.
It sounded like it for a second. Mike and
Ryan came in and Ryan couldn't join us tonight or join us for this one. So it's like I had to stop myself. Today, our podcast, we're going to talk about date night with Steve Carell and Tina Fey, and Jake has our synopsis.
Worried that the spark has gone from their marriage, Phil and Claire Foster plan a romantic night out at a hip Manhattan eatery. When they arrive, however, the restaurant is heaving, and without a reservation, Phil impulsively claims they are absent diners, the Tripplehorns. The ploy seems to have worked until two heavies interrupt their meal, demanding the return of a stolen flash drive.
Yeah. So,
and shenanigans ensue.
Yes, very many shenanigans. Now, this is one that I put on my list so the audience can choose what
Your
we
poll.
talk about on my poll. I picked this because Steve Carell and Tina Fey, those two at the time, I feel around 2010, it was their peak. It really was their peak of everything. I think they were funny. They were just hitting their stride with all the stuff. So I think that was the thing. And then also because Dave thinks deeply, and I know I'm not saying you guys don't, but I bring up my deeply stuff.
Deep thoughts?
Deep thoughts from Dave.
Welcome to Deep Thoughts with David Burgess.
You can understand when you two probably can see it more, but when couples get complacent of going through the motions. And
I'm there.
That's
why this movie's so funny.
You have a routine and you stick to the routine, and it's wonderful and it's great, but sometimes that is just kind of a little boring, and I get that. So them trying to re-spark stuff is something that I really enjoy about it. So what did you guys think of the chemistry of Steve, with Tina, and then also Mark Wahlberg and all the other ones?
Match made in heaven.
Wahlberg.
They just seemed like a married couple who'd been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're perfect. Like, really, their acting is so high up there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, both of them super hilarious comedians.
Yeah.
Geniuses. I think that's why they paired so well in the movie. They just could feed off of each other. They were perfect at... I think if it wasn't written, I wouldn't be surprised that they improv'd a lot of stuff. I mean, they could improv a lot of those scenes. It was just perfect.
Yeah, I would bet that Steve for sure did some, and I would think Tina did.
Oh, yeah.
Well, some improv on that because,
Yep.
she was, SNL. She's a SNL alum.
Yep.
And all that stuff, so she could do that. I think she could.
They're good.
So, yeah. Okay, now, what about... what spoke to you about this movie?
Well, definitely the whole I'm married, I understand it. It really, whoever wrote it, I looked him up because I was like, whoever was the writer must be married with kids. Yeah, he's married and he has kids because this is so good.
Yeah.
I mean, just the beginning scene with the kids jumping on and Steve's like, don't move, like pretend you're asleep kind of thing. Because the kid is in the room and then they jump and she's like, how many knees do you have? Yeah. And it's so true.
It's so true.
And then he rips like...
Yeah, he rips the little breathing nose off of it.
Right.
Oh, it's so true. Oh my gosh, I love it.
So funny.
Have your kids ever cracked open your eyes and say, oh, look, you're awake?
Oh my gosh, no.
Not yet.
No. But Aurora knows when it's Saturday and Sunday and Dad's home Friday night. I wake you up? Yeah, you can wake me up. So that's what I get is every Saturday.
What time?
Luckily, no. My kids sleep till 9:30, so I'm usually up at 6.
Oh, you are so lucky.
I'll go back to sleep just so she can wake me up. Yeah.
Just wait till they're in elementary school.
Almost a year away.
Wow.
Yeah, but intense.
Yeah. So I have to go to work at 8 now. But Connor has to go to work, and not work, school, at 8:30, where last year it was 9:05. So we got to wake him up at 7:30. So before I walk out the door, I'm waking Connor up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Anyway, that's what's great about the movie. Even later in the movie, and they're worried about their kids, and let's call the babysitter and make sure they're okay. And I mean, that's what I would be doing too, right? That's.
I sense a level of danger here. That's another 5 per hour.
That is so good.
I think
leveraging.
I think one of the things that spoke to me too was when they would go to a restaurant and they'd be like, "Okay, what's the story?"
So good.
What's the story?
So
what's
good.
the story? Because I remember one time, I think I was meeting Jake and another buddy at lunch, and we were just at a restaurant, and these two people were meeting for the first time, and you're just like, "Oh wow, this is interesting." Looking at it from that perspective of seeing somebody meet somebody for the first time and that sort of thing, I think it was that part was really funny, and that spoke to me when watching the movie.
Yeah. Well, I can understand the complacency and trying to change the routine and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But yeah, the couple that kind of sparks them to go on this adventure.
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo and Kristen Wiig.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, this is like the best thing ever.
It's so funny that like Steve, like when they were talking, they were both, Ruffalo and Wiig were happy. Mm-hmm. And like Tina said something like Kristen Wiig says, "Well, I can have intercourse with three
dudes at the same time."
She's like, "That's a nightmare."
That's a nightmare for me.
Yeah.
So it's just like, them seeing, okay, we need to do something, make sure.
Yeah.
Keep working at it.
Deep thoughts with Dave here is, I think all couples need to realize that, because there are a lot of my friends who have gotten divorced. It's like, oh, well, we didn't love each other anymore. I think that's that complacency is you just think you don't love each other because you're not actively doing all these fun things. Because those couples who get married, well, oh, he likes to do this and we like to do that. Well, you should have done that with your.
Well, at the beginning when it's showing them at their jobs, and he's telling, you get $600 back. And I was like, how in the heck are you guys going to Spain on $600? And we can make love on the beach again
20 times.
and again and again.
And he's like, I'm going with that. You get me, Phil?
And see, I think with that, with the complacency and that sort of thing, you can get, from the other perspective of dating other people and getting to know people, you can actually become very, I guess the best word is addicted to meeting new people and having these new experiences and always wanting them because you're getting your high. You're basically getting your high. But if you could do that with somebody where you're still doing those things, not all the time, you don't have to do it all the time, but once in a while where you're still like, oh, let's do this. This would just be fun to go and do. Let's go do it. Right. Okay, let's go do it.
I talked to my mom because she likes the movie. And she's like, oh, I love this movie. And I was like, oh, okay. And I think the reason she likes it is because it's the movie is very relatable to, well, I'd say married couples or any couples. I mean, it's just and yeah, what they get into is the fun part, right? It's and we've compared it to the man who knew too little.
Yeah,
that's
that like just because they didn't know what was going
they were getting into
and all that stuff. So that's what we compared it to. Yeah.
So I think that's a great segue to that part where they become the Tripplehorns, right?
Oh yeah.
What a funny name.
And she takes the risotto outside.
Right.
Now I'm going to have to eat the risotto off the floor.
Okay, what were your guys' favorite parts about the movie?
Mark Wahlberg.
Oh my goodness.
With his amazing pecs.
Holbrook Grant or whatever.
Holbrook, yeah.
And how do you remember this guy? You helped so many people.
Oh, that's right.
He opens the door. He doesn't wear a shirt the whole movie.
Yep. And I love it how he's like, "Oh, don't you live far away?" And she's like, "Oh, no," and because we used to drive like 20. We were always driving in the car together, and Steve's like, "What?"
How about you go put on a shirt and then
the whole time is with them, get a shirt on.
Oh yeah, because she is she's his realtor. That's how she knows him. Was realtor.
Yeah. What other best parts did you guys or favorite parts?
Well, still that when they get taken out into the alleyway and the gun,
the kill shot.
Then he turns it. The kill shot. Then it got real. Like, what are you doing? Oh no, honey! He turned the gun.
I think one of the best parts about it, in the movie too, is the gag or the joke that they keep saying, like, "Oh, we took someone's reservation," and everybody's like, "You're one of those people?
How dare you?"
Like, you had the Tripplehorns, you had the cops do that, you had like other people do it, and you're just like, yeah, you're kind of despicable for doing that. It's so like,
it is.
That was a good. It wasn't too overbearing of that joke.
No,
the joke was good.
Yeah, it's good because it pisses people off.
Yeah,
like that would be like if they came. If it wasn't in New York and they went to like a fancy restaurant where there's a parking lot and they parked into a handicap stall just to make it that much worse. Well, there wasn't any spots, so we took the handicap stall. You did what?
Yes. What about the other stuff?
The book club. Fun parts? Oh, the book club was great. Mm-hmm. Which let's fast forward real quick and at the end when Tina's like, I read the first 30 pages and then the last page, and he's like, oh, I read the whole book.
Yeah. I always read them
because he loves her. Yeah. And that's in that book club scene. He's just trying to participate.
I love the lady where she's like,
you don't know what it's like to be under Pakistani Taliban rule and have to go out in the desert and menstruate.
Yeah. And then he's like, you don't know either.
And neither do you.
He leaves and she's like, you're on your period, right?
She smiles. Yep.
So funny.
Oh, man.
What other ones? What other parts? Or do you want to talk about more parts where we could talk about favorite lines?
Well, the whole getting stuck in the rut. Yeah. Thing. I still like how Mark Ruffalo compares it to Long Duck Dong from 16 Candles, and he keeps saying it wrong. And Steve says, oh yeah, why is Long Duck Dong dressed up like a doctor, Mark? And that's us. Because they're saying Long Duck Dong from 16 Candles cannot play a doctor in another movie. Like, he's Long Duck Dong.
Yeah.
And that's, you're stuck. That's how, Mark feels. Yeah. And anyway, Long Duck Dong.
And then when she's talking to Kristen Wiig, and Kristen Wiig goes, oh, you're going to go out and eat the salmon and the potato skins.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't really want to bring this part up. Okay, it's not X-rated, but it's funny, is when Tina Fey comes into the bedroom, and Steve's like, oh, so, did you want to do it? And he's like, well, the
retainer.
And then she pulls that retainer out, the slobber, and he's like, oh, No, it's okay.
And then she's like, no, we could really do it. We could do a fast one,
right.
Upstairs work. He's like,
uptown work.
I'm good.
Well, it's all right. I had the potato skins. They make me gassy.
Yes. So it's not even really related to the movie, other than me and Allison took my sister Chelsea to go see this movie.
Yeah,
fun.
When we got back to our apartment, there was a bunch of cops doing a man searching under cars and everything.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
And we're like, I don't think we can get out of our car right now. So we went and dropped Chelsea off and then went to Denny's. And then when we finally got back, the cops were gone. So Chelsea had to leave her car at her apartment. And I called her the next morning. I was like, so Chelsea, I hate to tell you, but they found the guy in your car. So your car's in an impound lot. He was doing drugs. And she was freaking out. And I said, just kidding. I don't know what happened. But it was just a weird experience.
Yeah.
We go and see a movie about, cops and everything. Yeah. And then it's in real life.
Here it is.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite parts, too, with the whole thing is the interaction with the Tripplehorns. When they go into the whole interaction. There's some parts that I have on favorite lines.
Yeah.
But the whole interaction between the Fosters and the Tripplehorns.
And it's good because it's so a total opposite, good. Right?
Yeah.
Steve's like, I want to be these people.
Yeah.
I want to be the Tripplehorns. Because, how they're
excited.
They're
they're sold on each other.
Especially that kiss right before they leave.
They just start going at it.
Yeah, James Franco and Mila Kunis.
Yes, James Franco. So good. Love James Franco.
Yeah.
And then, favorite lines?
Gal Gadot.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
You make sex with us?
Wonder Woman is in this movie, a minor bit part, and this is...
And Steve's reaction, I'm glad that we are not going to have sex with them. Oh, no, she says that. His reaction is so funny because he's laughing at her, right? And then she's like, I'm glad, and this is in Israeli because they don't understand it.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we are not going to have sex with them. They look old and weak.
Yes.
And you have Mark Wahlberg just kind of laughing at it.
And then Mark's, and she's a sweet girl. I met her in Israeli, and he explains, and Steve's like, she seems very sweet. It was very nice of her to ask us to have sex. I really think... just watching Steve Carell so much in The Office and watching deleted scenes, he's really laughing. That is hilarious. I'm sure they just let the cameras fly because...
Yeah. I wonder if he knew what the line was going to be.
Oh, that would be so good to know. Because he would...
When she's coming down the stairs, he's like, oh, look, there's your shirt.
There's your shirt. Yes.
Yeah, I was like, holy cow, that's Gal Gadot.
Did you, with some of the outtakes with it, did you guys watch some of the outtakes?
No.
When they showed it at the end of the movie? Oh, I think during the credits they did some outtakes.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, and you could tell, Steve Carell was having fun. You could tell he was having fun.
Yeah.
But Mark Wahlberg, when he tried to do the voices, when Steve Carell was doing the deep voices and all that stuff, Mark Wahlberg was just and you're just like, dude, look, man, you were an underwear model. You were part of a band. Just kind of lighten up a little bit more. Because, I think sometimes it's he does a bit too serious.
Yeah.
He can be a very funny guy when he wants to be.
Yeah.
And when he's acting, in Daddy's Home, before Daddy's Home, he and Will Ferrell did a dad joke off.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen that?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And he starts laughing at the jokes he's telling.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I think Will Ferrell is a better comedic fit with Mark Wahlberg than Steve Carell is. Personally speaking.
I can see that. I can see that.
I just don't see.
I don't think that was what was intended for the role, though.
No. Holbrook was,
ex-military.
You could believe that with Mark Wahlberg. It's like, I could believe that with you, where you're a bit serious and all that stuff with him.
Yeah.
And that stuff. So.
Yeah.
Okay. So
we're just a
some of
boring
my
couple.
favorite lines is when Claire, they're doing, is it a bad thing to toast with an empty glass? And Steve's like, I don't think that's a thing. And then that's right before everything just goes to crap. So funny. And then when they're at the police station, like she's like, that gay couple. Like she's like, and he's like, he says, crap my pants, gay couple dinner.
The crazy one and the bald one.
And then I love when Mrs. Tripplehorn, she asked, like, her name's Whippet?
Yeah.
And she's like, from, what did she say? She said something. And she's like, no, from the nitrous you suck from a cream whip can or something.
Yeah.
She's like, stupid ski. Stupid, like. And then she's like, do you have any contact with your mother at all?
Oh, that's right.
Just started laughing on that one.
Oh, yeah.
Just because it was like, yep.
Yeah. You're a long ways from home.
Yeah. Oh, and some of those, like, the knee thing and all those, like, so those are some of my favorite lines. Like, and then, like, with the Tripplehorns, with them, like, who are you? And then when they're like, well, how did you find us? And she's like, well, we took your number off of the reservation. And like James Franco's like, good move. Smart move.
You
or
put
something
your real
like
phone number?
Right.
So funny. So
I
funny.
didn't use the home phone. I did my cell phone.
Do you guys have any more favorite lines that you guys have?
All the times that the doors opened and it's Holbrook. Just when they make it back to him and he's like, is that my tracksuit? It's like, yes, I got it out of the trunk of your Audi, which has been slightly damaged, which I will pay for.
Which is parked next to the East River.
Also, that old antique gun that you have, I'll put on my tab.
It is funny when he shoots it.
Yep.
Kill shot.
Because every time they did that, so every time they pointed it in this way, everybody took it serious in that movie. Because like you had the Fosters take it serious, and then he did it to the Tripplehorns.
Yep.
And they're like, okay,
whoa,
okay,
all right, let's talk.
And it happens at the end on the top of the building too, right?
Yeah.
Let's kill shots all over the place. Claire, I've got this.
So funny.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
No.
No.
Maybe we could keep
Recommendations.
Going. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely recommend it.
How often?
Don't watch it with your kids.
No, don't watch it with your kids.
2 to 3 years.
Yeah, I'd go 3.
3
to 4.
3 to 4. Oh, I think it's so funny. I don't want it to lose that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, kind of thing.
But
I love it so much. I don't want to watch it so often. It's just so good.
And we've talked about where you said it's funny up until a point, and then like this last 30, 45 minutes, the
action got kind of in the way for me.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny when they're in
the taxi
cars.
cab.
The taxi cab.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny when they go into the strip club and he's got the broom with him.
He's got the broom
and
still.
then they both have to dance and he's losing his mind. Oh, man.
Yeah. That's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it, like, at the beginning there was a fire hose of comedy.
Yes.
And then at the end it was more of like just a garden hose of comedy, but with a lot of action, with it.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad. Like,
No.
it really isn't bad. It was just a good, they needed probably needed to mix it a little bit better than what they did, but they did a good job overall with it.
Right.
Yeah. Right?
Yep.
Okay. I would give it probably 2 to 3. Mm-hmm. I think you just got to give it some time and enjoy it. Okay. Please rate. Please subscribe. Thank you for joining us. We are on most podcasting formats. And so please give us a listen. So thank you. Have a great day, guys.